The ATB Show at atbshow.com. You can go there, find all the accoutrement, all the places that you will find really only one of the faces. Outside of, we just admitted this as a team. We just had this conversation. Yes. There's so much going on right now. We get here, we're like, because we're all dads and we got lives. And we're like, we're going to get in and out and on with our life. And we're talking about this artist that I found on TikTok. And then we started rambling about Italian food. And Adam thought it was a Japanese place. That's another show for another time.
Say the name. Say the name.
Massimo.
That's not a Japanese name?
Not a sponsor yet. Nope.
No.
So what?
I mean,
I don't know how that's even possible.
He would look phenomenal in a kimono, and I'm sure he's got a couple wonderful ones, probably from a trip that he took to Japan because he's wildly successful, and we love him. So that's all happening.
I guess it is Italian. I just looked it up. Okay.
And this all plays. It's all about rubber shoes for the next 45 to 57 seconds.
Obviously.
So. Normally, the person who, if they're not on the show, and you'll notice one of us is missing, Corey's in Pittsburgh, yelling at the people who make the steel, who then build the cars, who he teaches to fix, and then we got Rubber Shoes on assignment. Where could he possibly be?
Where is Rubber Shoes?
Yeah, so if our dear friends at AAA Work Trucks, hi Joe and Leslie. Actually, you know what, Joe and Leslie? I have a bone to pick. Pick.
Uh-oh. They're our only sponsor. Be careful.
Bone to pick or tip to pick.
You've gone down this road before too, Timmy. So
I don't know if we're fighting over chicken bones or steak tips right now, but like, can we Rochambeau the tickets? Is that a thought?
1,000%.
Joe and Leslie, AAA Work Trucks. If it goes in, on, or around a truck, or if you see a tasteful nude from the waist up of William Francis Corey, you're probably looking at a AAA Work Truck. Listen, you let him go to the Bruins, and you leave it to me. This is what you're going to get.
It's trouble.
Yeah,
it's trouble.
So if you see a box truck somewhere on 95 or 495 and it looks like the Village People are moving across country, it might be AAA Work Trucks because you got Rubber Shoes in every possible costume from the YMCA. Anyway, so he checks in a little bit earlier. I just got another comment from our assistant executive producer. I'm making my point. And normally, if he wasn't on the show, which he isn't tonight, he's at the Bruins, which Scotty skated right to the puck, pun intended. You're welcome. It'll be on a quiz later. As soon as I said, well, boys, I said, Rubber Shoes is on assignment. He'll be at the Garden tonight. Scotty's like, congratulations. Enjoy the game. And if they lose, it's all your fault.
Your fault.
He couldn't throw the baby into the volcano fast enough, right? Yeah. It was amazing. It was so well done. So well done.
Good job.
So in lieu of Rubber Shoes, and I don't know if Rubber Shoes called Bentley Lane and said, you have to carry the gauntlet. But we were sitting here talking about everything except starting the show, and my mom Cheryl checks in, and she's like, are you on?
That's amazing.
That's why I said to you guys, oh my God, we're going to get going. We got to get going.
Are you on? Timothy, I can't record this. Are you on?
Don't say that. Don't say that. She'll get mad at me. Then when I get down there, when I get down there, she gets all worked up. I don't record everything. That was a direct quote.
Just record tonight's Bruins game. That'll be all you need to record.
Here's the thing.
Oh my God.
This is what I learned last time I visited with Cheryl the Pearl. We were watching, and I forget which one it was. I was going to reference the one that Scheffler won, but he's winning all of them. So we were watching on Sunday in real time. And then, of course, the following day, Monday, I'm still down there. I'm in my dad's old office, like right off the living room. And I come out and she's watching yesterday again today. And I'm like, are you watching it again? And she's like, I missed some stuff.
I love it.
Because golf moves so fast.
My mom will rewatch Boston sports and golf like she's studying for the bar. Oh yeah, like who's the head coach from the Rams, Scotty? Help me.
You used to be Cliff Kingsbury. It's
from the Rams, isn't it Sean McVay?
Thank you, Sean. Look at you.
Oh, the
Look
Rams.
at you.
Hey. Cardinals. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
NFL,
Yeah.
baby.
Sorry.
Sean McVay from the Rams is said to have had a photographic memory. You could call him right now. You call him right now and be like 1982, right? You know,
really?
the Los Angeles, the St. Louis Rams are playing the Toledo Mud Hens. It's 4th and 35, and Fran Tarkin is the quarterback. What did you do? And he'd be like, I wasn't alive. I wasn't part of the team, but here's what they did. Like he just just tells you exactly what happened, right? Some guy in the crowd farted and all this kind of stuff. So that's my belief system around her. It's a study of the sport.
Okay.
It's beyond
that.
beyond passion.
I love it.
I'm only doing this so I don't get berated when I go down to visit her. That's all. I'm just walking it back for everybody. That's all.
Yeah. Fair.
So we are live and we are here and we are brought to you by our friends at AAA Work Trucks, Rubber Shoes. Then he sends a picture, which was pretty nice. I got to tell you though, the seats that I get through my wife and her company, we're on the 50-yard line at the Bruins, 10 rows off the ice. So I'll be interested where he's sitting. And I think it's actually, and I'm not going to give away all the secrets, but he said there were tickets from somebody else's, like, I don't know. It goes deep, dark, and hairy, but I wasn't sure if he was already sitting there eating steak tips.
Well, he also said he might not get there in time for the puck drop.
Oh, because he's technically supposed to be at the firehouse tonight.
Right.
So look at the hierarchy of needs here going on, right?
Seriously.
So serve the public good, right?
Right.
Yes.
Sure. Yep.
But as soon as Bruins tickets come up,
gotta go.
I got something going on. Yeah.
Yeah. You got a cat in the tree. You need some Narcan. I'm out. I gotta go. Yeah.
I'm gone.
Tell Mittens I'll be right back.
Puck drops at 7.
Yeah, puck drops. God bless him. So that's interesting. We obviously, and it's easier now because I was going to say, and I think we talked about this in the thread over the weekend. Absolutely no Red Sox tonight. We're not doing that.
Yes, thank God.
We got Bruins and Celtics to talk about in whatever order you guys want to march through that, and then obviously we'll talk about Thursday night and the draft. Scotty's got a finger up. What do we got?
Oh, all I was going to say, if you want to talk about Red Sox, you can say they're all injured, and it's more the Woo Sox than anything else. Move along.
That's the update. Rubber Shoe said that the other day in the thread. He's just like, he's like, the Woo Sox are playing the Pirates. And at first I was like, what's happening? I'm like, oh, I get it. Yeah, just
everyone's hurt.
Everybody's up.
I will say for the Mainers that watch this, the few.
Yeah, guy.
Saw it off, baby. Saw it off.
Portland's solid, man. Portland's is right now like the Sea Dogs. They have a lot.
I like the Sea Dogs. The stadium is good too. I love the Sea Dog Stadium. It's a good stadium.
I was gonna ask Scotty this, and here comes the Berwickian bias, I'm sure. As a Mainer, do you like as far as venues go? Which one do you like better, the Sea Dogs, or do you like the Fisher Cats?
Oh, Sea Dogs, 1000%.
Why?
The only thing I don't like about the Sea Dogs is not a lot of great parking. It's kind of a pain in the ass to park there. Mm-hmm. Manchester's a lot easier to park and to get in there. I like the layout of the Sea Dogs because it definitely feels more like a Fenway type of feel, for sure. And then it also just I don't know, feels like it's
definitely too much time on the Red Sox already.
Mainer stuff,
correct.
Manchester's fine, but it's not. It is. It's like, to me, Manchester's like your normal, like, type of you can go anywhere in AAA baseball or AA baseball and find a park like that, where Headlock's a little bit different. So.
Yeah,
you know that your major league team sucks when you lead the A block with the minor league teams that are in Maine.
Portland's got a good squad right now. I'm happy to move off anytime.
And which minor league team has better accoutrement? Right. Well, the reason I ask is Janine and I were talking, and Janina's company has work with both because they do so much minor league baseball. Although end up getting tickets over to Manchester on a regular basis, and she would argue from a parking standpoint and just from a coverage standpoint, like having actual shade and stuff like that, she likes the Fisher Cats venue a little bit better. Portland is certainly tough on the parking, but there's no reason that the Fisher Cats, because they're a Toronto affiliate, there's no reason they would try to mimic Fenway, but it's just not the same experience. Hadlock's good. Actually, a few of our agents have season tickets there.
Yeah, I did flip the bird to a bunch of children at Headlock too. So I mean, there was that whole thing happened on my bachelor party, but I didn't realize it was. I didn't see the children. I was actually flipping my middle finger to all my friends that were up there at the time. But
Scotty, while Timmy gets the boss on the phone.
Just gonna let him go after the show. After the show. Yeah.
Staying in the minor leagues, did you see that the Maine Celtics game? Did we talk about this already? The Maine Celtics game was a jam-packed for the finals. Well, I know they lost, but it was packed.
It's like packing a high school gym. You know what I mean? Like it's so small. But yeah, no, it was packed. It was packed.
Not all the G League gyms are packed like that, though. I can tell you that much.
I haven't seen much G League basketball, to be honest with you. So
why?
It is super tiny.
I'm sorry, I
tiny.
derailed us to more minor league stuff. So
that's all right. That's all right. So, do we want to start with the Bruins and where Rubber Shoes is, and then go to the Celtics, and then talk draft, and then escape? Yes,
sure.
Yeah.
So the game the other night, I got to be honest, and Rubber Shoes said it too, and I'm super glad that he made the announcement and the retirement is imminent, and it's only this series. He's wrapping up this series. This is it. After that, it will go to other networks. He was. I feel like almost the relief of him making the announcement, and Rubber Shoes said this, and I was thinking it, but I didn't text it to anybody. He was in a rough spot the other night.
You're talking about Jack Eggers, right?
Jack sounded even like, and I don't know if it's all starting to hit him as he's watching these periods countdown and he's doing the final 5 minutes, the forward final 5 and all that kind of stuff. It's starting to hit him like there could only be 3 left. There, 2 and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know what it is that's hitting him, but that for sure he was just rough the other night. Rough.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't hear too much of it. Only heard a couple of snippets because I have teenagers who are, they don't stop talking.
Doing other things.
My youngest son does. Yeah, he's a chatterbox these days. But the stuff I did hear, I was like, oh my gosh, she sounded okay. And then there'd be moments of, yeah, that wasn't clear. I'm not entirely sure what just muttered out of his mouth. And it is too bad because the other thing is too, he's still relatively young. He's what, mid-50s?
I'm going to say 60 because I feel like I looked this up.
Oh, was he? Is he really? Oh, okay. I thought he was younger than that, but
I'm going to take a peek. Hang on.
But it is too bad. That the way that it's happening, because obviously every Bruins fan loves to hear his voice, and just he's the Zolak of hockey for us.
67.
Right? Wow, is he really?
Yep.
67.
He looks amazing for 67.
He looks really good. And it was funny it was a handful of years ago. He grew the hockey hair. He had the shoulder length hockey hair, and he had the headphones on, and it was he had the flow going, which was interesting.
Some men get my dad. Ricky can grow the hockey hair if he wants to. He had a mullet.
All right.
He had a legit mullet.
You can then too, right? Can you?
Oh yeah, I can grow this.
Yeah,
this
I was gonna say definitely.
But I've never seen when Scotty lets it go, it goes horseshack. It doesn't really go down. It just he horseshacks. Yeah,
I like that though. I like that. That's good.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah, picture the Dr. of Rock letting it go. Remember the Dr. of Rock? If I remember, our dear friend Chris Garrett would get 2 haircuts a year. He would go before Chicken Giving, and then he would go right before the 4th of July.
Yeah,
he was literally 6 months apart.
I'm there with him. I hate getting my hair cut. It's the worst.
Oh God, it's my favorite.
I know. Well, you go once every week, right?
Yeah, Friday nights. Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep.
You have a blessed life that Janina puts up with that. I got to tell you.
Janina puts up with a lot.
A lot.
You thought I was going to say nothing, and I thought better of it because this is being recorded. I sent her a screenshot today. We were sitting in a thing, and there's one of the guys at International does a podcast around a book that Gary wrote, and the guest he was having on, her name was so fascinating. I got to bring up the picture so I read it to you appropriately. Yes, we're sidetracked again. Welcome to the show. What was this girl's name? It was unbelievable. Her name is Bridget Potterton.
Ooh,
and she was talking about the intersection of real estate and divorce. And
really,
the national stat right now is couples get divorced every 42 seconds.
Come on.
So I wrote to Janina and I said, Kaylee and Susanna are rooting for you.
Really? 42 seconds, really?
Every 42 seconds.
That's wild.
That's a bunch.
That's crazy.
That's a bunch.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Everybody practicing law said family law. I knew it. I should have done family law. Yep.
Yes, I know.
Yes. Yep. Incredible.
Well, I'm holding out hope for you guys. You're going strong, so I'm holding out.
It'll be 28 years in September.
There you go. Congratulations.
So we shall see.
Early.
28 years and 42 seconds. That's what I will post.
That's
42
that's
seconds
how many
into
more,
our 28th year.
How many more haircuts before you turn 28?
That's a great tracking system. I love it. Here, and then we're going to get off this topic because I can tell you right now, you know who absolutely cannot stand that I get my hair cut every 67 and a half hours?
Rubber shoes.
Nope. Cheryl. Cheryl loses her mind.
Oh, Cheryl. Oh.
Timothy, if you just let it grow in. I'm like, this is the hill we're going to die on, really? You know?
This is where it is. This is what it looks like.
Yep.
This is how we're going.
Yep. I feel like our last conversation is gonna be like, tell the boys I love them and let your hair grow out, right? Yeah. So you were there at the end. What did she say to you? Let your hair grow out. That'll be her last words.
Let your hair go.
Yeah. Let your hair grow out.
And I've got last week's Red Sox game on the DVR to me.
Don't delete it. Yeah.
Delete it.
Mail it to the Smithsonian. Oh, God bless her. We gotta get
Edwards.
I love her.
Edwards. Bruins look good. I have seen it keeps coming up on my feed for whatever reason how ridiculously crazy and delusional Toronto fans are. Maple Leaf fans just like, oh, they're gonna sweep them and they're gonna crush those. Obviously, right before the series, the puck dropped
before the 5-1.
Oh yeah. I was like, and I'm like, thinking, really? Are you sure about that though? Like, come on. But yeah.
Well, isn't it sort of like, I know we're going to get to the Heat too, but isn't it sort of like the Heat fans from last year, like chanting, "We want Boston"?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yep.
Like that was last year, dude. It was a totally different team. I mean, I know the Bruins are similar, but it's like it's a different season. It's a different season.
1,000%. And I mean, it's the same thing with like Bam Adebayo. We're just going right on the Celtics, but Bam Adebayo talking at the post game, like no one believes in us, but the coaching staff, the players in there, and if they believe, then we have a chance. And I'm like, okay.
It's almost like he took Jimmy Butler's post game, comments from last year when they tied it up 3-3 and basically read them. Yeah. So.
Well, and it's classic Belichick. Like take the non-story, make it a story, hang it up in the locker room. Yeah.
Yeah.
And put itching powder in everybody's jockstrap and say the other team did it. Like that's Belichick 101, right? Yes.
Right. Exactly.
Make the anthill a mountain. It is my favorite part, and it seems to happen every year. And I didn't notice it during the first game, and I might have missed it because Francis kept coming in. We were talking about a million things. Like I wasn't locked and loaded, and I'm not going to watch it again. Anyway, so I'm just saying.
Why not? That's too bad.
Just saying. I love when they cut to, and we were there, and I actually, when you see something on TV and then you're there in person, you're like, oh, this doesn't feel like the same place. It's sort of a one-way street just down into a building. Like you're not supposed to actually go down there, but it's a one-way street down into a building, and that's where they stand. That's that camera shot where they're all freaking out. When they show like the fans outside watching the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like down, because we pulled down there and Janina's like, oh, this is it. I'm like, what? She goes, well, I looked up that place that they're always standing. It's like right here. They just sort of block off the street, almost like Jersey outside of Yawkey, or outside of Fenway, right? Which is now permanently blocked off. But they just sort of blocked that off, and that's where everyone stands. It almost looked like the pavilion in front of City Hall in Boston is what I pictured. Mm-hmm. But that's not what it is. And I love when they show that because historically
in Toronto or in Boston?
In Toronto. I apologize. Okay. In Toronto, yeah. And I love when they show that shot and they're all in their shirts and they're freaking out because the best time was when Bergeron helped us come all the way back from, we were down 4 goals, right? Was it 4-1 or 4-0?
Yeah. 4-1. Yeah.
It was 4-1, came all the way back. And they kept showing them and every goal got scored and you could see everybody's face just started to get dire, and it got worse and worse and worse, and I love that so much. So I love their overconfidence, and I hope we keep our mouths shut and just keep skating. Yes. And here's the question. Swayman was in, stood on his head. Do they switch it up?
I don't think so.
No. After that performance, I would like to think they're just going to keep him there.
We've talked about 1,000 times, too, is like with hockey, it's always about the hot goalie.
Ride the goalie.
Yeah, in the playoffs, you get a hot goalie, you freaking ride him. Mm-hmm. And then if you if you can switch out, if you really feel like you need to or whatever, go ahead. But only at that point, you're hopefully you're up 3-1 or whatever in the series, even, you know what I mean? If you guy needs a break or something, but the way the playoffs are, they don't typically need a break. I mean, it's not I don't feel like it's as bad as, I don't know. It's pretty close as bad as basketball, but when it comes to like the schedule itself, but I think you ride Swayman for sure, especially the way he played. He played really, really well.
Well, they asked Coach the other night, and Monty's response was, somebody was just like, "Who's going to be in net?" And he's like, "The guy with all the pads on." So he's sticking to that. So like,
yeah, I
cannot imagine that he throws Olmark out there tonight. But there's probably a lineup. They probably shared a lineup. They might have already said who's doing what. But it'll be interesting. Yeah, it's so good. It's such like we're not in the golden era, because we're in the golden era. We'd have 4 teams that were planning parades, and we were never actually there. It felt like we were, but the fact that we should have 2 this summer is a start. And if that embarrasses the Red Sox and the Patriots into getting their ass in gear, because that'll be interesting. We'll get to that at the end of the show. Somebody last week said they're going to trade the pick, which I love.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
Of course they are. Be so 100%. Good. Celtics, talk to me. We Rubber Shoes got into the chat and said that he had Jalen with the first basket, parlayed with JT shooting 30, and
which didn't happen.
He did not. He got 23. But what? Yeah. Do you have a lineup there, Scotty, for the Bruins? Have they made an announcement yet?
So it's funny that a lot of other teams have already confirmed their goalie. Bruins have not.
I see.
Everyone's projecting Swayman. They're projecting him, but he's there hasn't been a confirmation yet. There'll probably be a confirmation, at 6:55.
Yeah, there's a small plane coming in from Montana. It's Timmy Thomas.
Right.
We should mention before we get off the Bruins that Rubber Shoe's birthday is tomorrow, so we want to give him a happy birthday shout out.
Happy birthday.
Well, we were going to sing to him, but he's busy eating steak tips.
Yep,
I know.
Big 5'3".
I know, he's going to be 53.
Wow. What jersey? This is a prediction game we should play. What jersey is he going to buy to celebrate 53?
Who is an important number 53?
Larry
I don't know.
Chris Slade?
Chris Slade. I don't know. I have a hard time coming up with one, but I'm sure he'll have one next week.
Well, I'm thinking, was it 35 for the Celtics if he wears it inside out? Who? Reggie, help me.
Reggie Miller. I mean, Reggie Lewis.
Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller.
Yeah. Does he still have an old Reggie Lewis shirt he can wear inside out?
A Reggie Miller shirt? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he does. I'm sure he has a Reggie Lewis. No, because that's when he was a Lakers fan, probably, when Reggie Lewis was around.
Oh, my God, you're right.
Yeah, so he's probably got somebody that's, maybe he can take his Magic Johnson jersey and turn it inside out and pretend that it says 53.
He'll turn.
Nonetheless, happy birthday, Rubber Shoes.
Yes,
happy birthday.
There's a great podcast that I watch, and they were sharing. They just always talk about channels they find on different things, and they had found it's Tom Segura and Burt Kreischer. They do two bears, one cave. So so Tom Segura was on. He has another podcast that he does with a female co-host, and he was talking about he found this account on TikTok, and he's like, it's this young girl, and she's a small business owner, and she makes her own coffee, and he goes, and her page is filled with anger, and she basically and she's a portly young lady. So and she's doing a day in the life, and she's got like big Coke bottle glasses, and she starts and she's like good morning, and she's doing a voiceover. Good morning, big day today. Going to start it right. Going to go to the gym, and it shows her driving to the gym, and she's working out. And one of the shots they show working out, she's lifting just the bar, which is 45.
Okay.
And and he starts going through the comments, and one of the comments is 500 reps of 45 is 0. There's all these comments, and so he actually brought her in. I tripped over this the other day.
Yes, I love that. He
actually invited her to their show.
Okay.
And they met at her hotel in the morning. They put her up at a hotel. He met her so they could work out together. She goes, so I think he was calling my bluff. And she goes in and kicked my butt. And one of the funniest comments in this whole thing, I'll send you guys the link afterwards, is Segura talks about the fact that there was one comment, and it's just like, it's like girl in Adelaide, and all it said was hate from Australia. Oh, and Segura's laugh is so funny, and Segura's like, here we are on the other side of the world. We just wanted you to know that we hate you. So she's at their show. She's at their show. I thought
you were going to say it was Janina who made the comment.
No, she would never say she's mad. Like, oh dear Lord,
Shyamalan twist right there.
Yeah, yes. So she's in there. She's in their studio, and she's like, they set up a little espresso machine for me so I could make coffee for them. And she has a new flavor of coffee for her brand called Hate from Australia.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
Brilliant. And then she was on their show. So I wish her well, but I mean, it was the funniest thing. That was my long way of getting here.
Yeah. I'm wondering where this is going, but go ahead.
I was too.
Hate from Australia. I'm just kidding. No.
Oh, okay.
I lost my place. I got to be honest.
That's okay. Well,
listen, Rubber Shoes just texted us. Hate from Australia is not talking about the Bruins. He just yelled through.
I was like, I could
feel the heat coming off of it.
No. That would be too good. That would be too good.
More Red Sox, less Australia.
Oh my God. Honestly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh Jesus.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, so the Celtics, game one, I think went, I'd say relatively as expected, especially without Jimmy Butler. They came out, I will say that I thought the building was just electric to start. And obviously the run that they came out on was, it definitely fed that. It's the NBA. Everyone's going to go on a run at some point. But, the Celtics, every time the Heat did, Celtics had an answer, which was nice to see. They did dick around a little bit too much in the fourth quarter, kind of let them. I mean, you let them back in the game. They got to 14, right? I mean, it wasn't like it was like.
I know it was 99-65 at one point, though.
Yeah.
Was it?
No,
not?
they were. Yeah, they were up by 30 something at one point.
Yeah, that was horrifying.
They won by 20. They still won by 20. The only, I'd say the only downside is that you had to bring the starters back in to make it to 20 points. You know what I mean? Now, my only thought is like, well, did you really have to do that, or could have you rode the wave, called made adjustments, and then and let the bench kind of finish that out, but.
So did they, Scotty, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but did they actually bring them back in? Because I thought from JJ Redick was like, you may be wondering why they're up 30 and still have their starters in. And then he was talking about how they had 2 weeks off and Missoula wants them to get used to a heavy minute load and stuff like that. I didn't realize that they brought their bench back in the second half. I didn't think they did.
They had a couple of starters out there. It wasn't the whole five.
Oh, okay. All right.
It wasn't the whole five. Pritchard was still out there and Hauser and stuff. But it wasn't the whole five. But I think Tatum came back in. Obviously, we'll talk about the cheap shot from Martin as well. But it wasn't the whole starting five. And that's the thing. I don't even know if they really necessarily needed to. I really don't. I think they would have been. I think they would have been able to ride the wave and it would have been fine. But they won by 20, and I don't see it being like I don't see if it goes, it should be a sweep. It really should be a sweep. But I could see them at least taking one in Miami. But it should be a sweep. Go ahead, Timmy.
Well, a couple of things. You gotta love the post game stuff. So I forget what network I was watching, but they were doing post game outside the Garden, and some Ricky Tikki Tavi all tuned up, and he's like, "It's over. They won it tonight." Like we already swept it. I'm like, oh my God, somebody shut him up.
Shut up.
Yes. Somebody introduce him to the Charles River, for the love of God. Anyway, it probably happened to somebody. It's a whole bunch of drunk people leaving a Celtics game. Somebody fell in.
Hate from New Hampshire coming
you
through.
Got it. You got it. And that was horrifying to me. Couple things. The balance, I thought when the starters were out, it was remarkably balanced. Like nobody was taking too many shots. Maybe some people should have been taking more shots that were dishing, but it's. I think that did they all end up right around 20? I mean, that seemed like a pretty balanced. Like most of the starters
except for Drew. Drew only had 6, but everybody else was close to 20.
The big three had 20. I believe had 20 each.
Jalen only had 17, but
17. Yeah,
Okay.
so it was Porzingis, White, and Tatum had 20.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed pretty balanced. And my only question, and I know I can't wait to blame everything on him this summer. Like, his opportunity with that kind of a lead is to find the chemistry in the bench that is your second line. Like, if we're talking Bruins, right? Like, you have to, your first line, second line, third line. Like, the fact that it got to a point, like you said, where they went and put the starters back in, and they can say, we want to make sure they're getting the minutes. Now, that doesn't really go well if we decide all of a sudden that JT's rolled his ankle, and the tailbone fall was freaking me out.
Right.
I thought he hit his head too. But like all of that was at the end of the game.
Right.
When he shouldn't have been in. And like coaching with a 20, what was it? They were 20 something, 30 something up.
They were up 16
not when that happened.
that fall
when
happened.
that happened, it was
not when that happened. No. But at the point that we let it get away, it was 99, 60 something, right?
Something. Right. Yeah, it was 34 maybe. I think they were up.
At that point, are you not coaching a little bit harder and trying to figure out what your second line looks like? Because to me, the failure is he's got to throw the starters back in to clean it up, and I know that's also a coaching decision.
Well,
but finding the right mix would have been nice too, as opposed to sending everybody back out.
Adam, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, I hear what you're saying, but also I think it's important to note that, and I know regular season versus playoffs is much different, but in the regular season, the reserves got so much run in a lot of games down the stretch, right? I mean, the last two games, granted, against the Wizards and the was it the Pistons or somebody? It was some lowly team. They played the whole game and destroyed both teams, as they should. But outside of that, even we had leads where it's 20, 30 points, and the role players, the bench players came in. I think the way Missoula is going to work it in the playoffs is I don't think he's going to go much deeper than 3 onto the bench. So, there's no reason to have Pritchard in there. There's no reason to have Horford in there even. I mean, we need to save, especially Horford, we need to save his legs, I think. I think they've done a good job throughout the regular season. I think they need to do the same thing in the playoffs. Where I do nitpick with Joe Missoula on yesterday is Hauser was in the game, knocked down 4 threes in a row, and you never saw him again. He only played 14 minutes. That to me is inexcusable. The guy is on a heater. Why does he not come back in? Now, maybe I didn't hear about an injury or something. I don't know. But I didn't hear anything about it after the game. So I don't know if you guys know anything about that. But I was really surprised that he only played 14 minutes. And they were all in the first half. I don't think we saw him in the second half.
And he only took 38 threes.
No, he only took 6.
I texted the thread at one point. I'm going to go back and find it chronologically because I could tell everybody the minute that I was about to jump out of a first floor window at my house. Hang on. Yeah, I texted into the chat yesterday, and I'm like, we had a good run. 1:36 p.m. What were we doing?
1:36.
What were we doing? It was just cling. It was so. The threes were bad. That was a game that we didn't need to be chucking up.
We shot 45% from 3, man.
Buddy, you buckle up. Because that's how, if you haven't watched a lot of stuff, that's how they shoot. That's how they play.
Yeah,
they're going to shoot a ton of threes. They shot 49 threes. They shot 82 shots total. They shot 49. But that's what they do. That's what they average. And they made 22 of them.
Right.
I mean,
of course they did.
They lead the team. They lead the NBA in 3-point percentage. They also lead the NBA.
Well, it's easy to do when you take the most. You're going to make the most.
Not necessarily. But
if you shoot 45%, I mean, that's some teams don't shoot 45% from 2-point.
Will you let me have my moment, please?
Okay, fine. Sorry. Go ahead. Be upset about it. Go ahead.
I'm done being upset.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think I honestly
just wanted my moment.
My only part of the bench thing
is that Mexican Coke? What's he doing? What's happening? Oh, for clarity, if you're listening, he just held up a drink. Okay.
Just regular.
Regular Coke. Just regular Coke. Mexican Coke.
I do like the Mexican Coke, though.
Yeah, gets you going.
Yep.
Adam,
we're talking about beverages.
Snowman. Anyway,
there's no snow. You can't see it, man. It's right there. Yeah. Go ahead.
The only issue I guess I have with the stuff here with the minutes, especially like Tatum played 41. He doesn't have to play 41. And obviously, we'll here in a second we'll talk about the Martin play. But you brought in Tillman, right? You made a trade. You brought in Tillman. You still have Cornette, who I think, Adam, you and I especially have been on the Luke Cornette train since day one. Like,
Yeah, he was in street clothes yesterday, though.
I know, because I think he was a healthy scratch. I didn't see.
No. He heard it. He heard. I was reading about it because I was like annoyed. I'm like, why is he in street clothes? I thought we were all healthy. Apparently, during practice, the week leading up to it, he got hurt. So I don't think it's anything serious, but he got hurt.
But at least you have at least Tillman that could spell Tatum a little bit, and it saves you from a situation where and I loved the Scalabrine quote. Right, where you're down by 16 with a minute and a half to go, right, and then you call timeout, and 30 seconds later, or what, it wasn't a minute and a half, it was like 3.5 minutes left in the game. You call timeout, and 30 seconds later, Caleb takes out Tatum, and I love the fact, by the way, two parts of that. One, that Brown was like immediately over there because I love Caleb Martin. I mean, Miami Heat is the ultimate two-faced type of organization where they're, like Spoelstra will smile, but he also wants to stab you in the back. And Martin takes him out, complete cheap shot play. And Scalabrine, I don't disagree with him at all. I think they should suspend Martin for game 2, personally. He needs at least to be fined, if not suspended. But then he goes to put his hand down to to help him up. And Brown's like, no. And of course they start, they're talking trash to back and forth. And there was some leaked audio out there that, there was a lot of trash.
Because Tatum was mic'd up.
Yes, and there was a little bit of audio basically around Tatum was talking to the rookie Vasquez or whatever. I'm not pronouncing that right. Jaquez, thank you. And asked him if because Tatum lit him up a little bit. You know what I mean? It was a little bit after that play, so he lit him up a little bit. And he said, and Vasquez was like, "What you doing?" He's like, "Well, you gonna cry about it?" And I was like, look what just happened down there, So yeah, the teams hate each other, and I love that. And
yes.
I just don't want something, especially if it's game 4, and let's God forbid we're up 3-0 and we're winning by 27, and it's 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It's 27. The Heat are done. And then Tatum goes up and they, someone takes him out and he's out for the rest of the postseason because, we didn't sit him for a little bit. I don't know. I mean, it's tough because it's also the other side is like the schedule is so ridiculous. They don't play till fucking Wednesday.
It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
And then when do they play after that? Saturday.
No kidding.
Every other series except for one is going to be playing their game 4 on over the weekend, except for the Celtics and Oklahoma City. They'll both be playing their game 3.
The 1 seeds. Well, why is that? Do you know? Is there any explanation for that?
There's none. There's none. It's garbage. It's absolute. The NBA it's probably the most frustrating, and I'm sure hockey fans will debate this, but I think the NBA's schedule is just horrible when it comes to the postseason.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
To me, it has to be. There's a little bit of an effort, and it's minor at best. It's a little bit of an effort just to stretch it out to own more TV time, to own more months, right? Because it's prescriptive with the NFL. Like you just go through January is the playoffs, right? February is the combine. March the combine. Sorry, February is. Now into February is still the playoffs. Jesus, don't mind me, right? We went to the middle of February for the playoffs, right? March is the combine, April's the draft and free agency, or March 17th into April is free agency. Yep. April's the draft, right? And then May is going to be some more moves and rookie mini camps. June, is the voluntary stuff, and then everything starts in July, and they own it, and I think it's Adam Silver's attempt to be like, yeah, if there's a 4-day gap in between games, they won't notice. They haven't met William Francis Corey. Like he noticed, he's probably at a Bruins playoff game complaining about the NBA schedule right now.
I'm sure he is.
And speaking of a divorce every 42 minutes, 42 seconds, we're watching, Steph, and we're on your side.
Rubber Shoes is sitting there going, they used to do a back-to-back playoff game. They could turn this ice around so the Celtics can play tonight. What the hell is going on? He's
like our Kramer. He's down there flipping boards on the Bull Gang. Yeah. He puts the whole floor upside down.
Because, there's nothing better than when the Celtics used to play after the Bruins and the ice would the stupid ice would melt.
Condensation.
Up
The
'cause it was so
condensation
hot in
would
the
come
old
through.
garden.
Yep. So gross. So gross.
That was the best.
The separation in the games is annoying.
So annoying.
Yeah, it doesn't make it. I mean, I understand the complication. I can't imagine closing in on the playoffs, and there's people that do this full time. I get that, but like just the mechanics of making sure, okay, they're in, they're out. They've got. I mean, there has to be a blackout period. I would trust for the Garden. Like, there's no concerts going on right now, right? Because they have to shut it down during the regular season. They can be like, okay, there's a gap here, there's a gap there, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's annoying at best. This massive gap that they're going Saturday to Wednesday.
The only thing I can think of is that the one seeds, they assume the one seeds will be an interesting series, that those are the best teams everybody wants to watch, which may or may not be true. I mean, OKC is fun to watch. I think the Celtics are fun to watch. Although I will say that I think national media is bored with the Celtics and wants somebody new and can't wait for the Celtics either to get over the hump or to fall off, because they never talk about the Celtics. Anytime they do, well, if they don't make the finals, it's a miserable failure. And it's like, I mean, yes, I would agree. I think it would be a failure if they didn't make the finals this year. But I really think the national media is like, oh, wouldn't it be great if the Knicks won? Or wouldn't it be great if OKC won this year? Wouldn't that be great? Or they're rooting for Denver because everybody loves Jokic, which I love Jokic too, but definitely would like to see the Celtics overtake him for sure.
Yeah, that would be delicious.
Obviously, to state the obvious.
But before we escape basketball and wait until next Saturday for a game, the play-in for the Lakers have Denver, correct?
Rubber Shoes is going to like this. Go ahead.
So did that series already begin? It started over the weekend, yes?
Yeah, it started over the
weekend. Denver beat him up pretty good, actually. And LeBron with like 8 minutes left, because the Lakers were actually up quite a bit in the first half and playing way better than Denver in that first half. And Denver just started to, near the end of the half, say, oh, yeah, that's right.
Chip away at it. Yeah.
Now we're going to start playing, basketball. And started to chip away, and got the lead, right? Yeah. Second half, third quarter, they just upside the head a couple of times and just really went at them. And it was about 8 minutes left in the fourth. And I want to say it was a 14-point Denver lead, somewhere around in there. It was definitely double digits. LeBron I think he tried to take a charge. Something happened, and he's on the floor, and he's like wincing on the pain or whatever.
It's unbelievable.
Basically just gave up, which is, that's the thing that, happens to all the LeBron like lovers and stuff, like, he's so much better than Jordan or whatever. LeBron gives up a lot.
All the time. All the time.
Now, is he still one of the greatest players of all time? Absolutely. I'll never debate that. Mm-hmm. He gives up constantly when his team really looks like they have no shot. Yeah. And he did. He gave up on game one. See what happens tonight when they play. But
that was my next question. So we get the Bruins tonight, and they're obviously they're out west, so it's late. What time does that game start?
10 o'clock.
I don't know if I'm going to be awake for it, but I do want to enjoy. I do want to enjoy this because he is, and this is sad. Yes, I will. I'm right there next to you guys. He is one of the greatest players of all time. And there was I caught somewhere on TikTok. I caught some guy making a speech, and he was basically talking about it's not the tool, it's who touches it, right? He's like, a golf club in my hands is a driver in my hands is $600. That's what it's worth. A driver in Tiger's hands is worth billions.
Right.
And he goes, a basketball in my hands, he goes $40. Like a $40, $50. He goes, a basketball in MJ's hands, and he stopped. He goes, you noticed I said MJ, and the crowd went nuts. And everybody knew what he meant, right? Because the modern day argument is like blah, 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 and all this kind of, it's like, and we'll never be able to compare because it's apples to oranges because of media and everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he will always be better in my.
Oh, sorry.
Bird's better than him though. Let's start from the beginning.
Thank you.
Bird, then MJ, then LeBron. Anyway, go ahead.
Please.
I did dying inside. Something very similar to what you saw. There was a guy. He was like talking to a crowd or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's talking about Michael and doing the comparison. He goes, raise your hand if you're wearing a pair of Jordans right now. And like a ton of people raised their hands and like,
Raise your hand if
you're
you're
wearing a pair of
LeBrons.
LeBrons. Nobody did.
Nobody.
And when was the last time you heard about someone getting robbed for their Jordans? Heard it all the time, right?
Yes.
Hear it all the time. Has anyone ever robbed anybody for a pair of LeBrons? No. Like, end of story. It was hilarious. It was
when they steal your Jordans, they leave you there, LeBrons.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And they're easy to put on your feet.
Even the Kobe's are way more popular than the LeBrons these days.
Yeah.
And they're easy to put on your feet when you're laying down because that's what they're designed for. Quitters, right? Like, honest to God. So easy to slip on when you're not standing up. Well, that's just it. It's constant. I mean, when Janine and I see it, it's a highlight the next morning on SportsCenter, and it's of him complaining or the foul or just. Yep. I mean, and God bless the Euro step, and I understand it, but like the 7 steps before the Euro step don't justify the non-traveling call, right? Like it's just he gets away with so much. So I'm going to tune into that tonight because I want to enjoy this because he is incredible. He's 75. He's pulling off a Brady in basketball. He really is. Right. And I'll give him that. And he's amazing because you chuck him the ball, and it's like if he's uncontested, he's hitting the 3. He's hitting any shot he needs to hit. And I know he works his butt off, but the complaining is unbelievable. Yeah. That foul last year at the Celtics when he was like on his knees on the foul line at the end of the game.
Oh yeah, that was ridiculous.
Like that's all you're gonna show him. You're gonna show him that, and then you're gonna show him Jordan, with the flu hitting a 3. The sick game where Pippen's carrying him off the court. Yeah, it's night and day.
It was food poisoning to me. It was food poisoning.
Is that what it was? Food poisoning?
No, I'm just kidding. That's what people said it was. Eventually, people said that.
Well, the greatest story was when, and I'm forgetting the hockey player. He was a Blackhawk. Was he a Blackhawk? Am I losing my mind? There's a great hockey player, and he was talking about sometime. He was talking about playing around with Jordan, and Jordan crushed like 1 trillion beers. And they finished the 18. He goes, "You want to do another lap?" And the guy's like, "What?" And he's like, "Come on." He goes, "Don't you have a game tonight?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll be fine." He goes, "Yeah, you're probably going to score 50." He said 60, and he went out and did it.
Oh my God!
And he goes, "I'm sitting there, and I'm the only one who knows he played 36 this morning,
right?
And raced through multiple beers."
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
LeBron spends $1 million a year on his body, so He'll play for another 400 years.
He should move some of that budget to the hairline. Just a thought. It's
hey,
gray,
listen,
but I still have it, LeBron. I still have it.
He gets it cut once a week, LeBron.
Yeah,
that's a big investment, LeBron.
Yeah.
That's a big investment.
You can't stop it. You can only hope to contain it.
I like a good LeBron bashing session as much as the next person, but I will say that in the play-in game, when he took that charge from Zion. Did you see that? No. Zion just went, through him. And LeBron is a huge dude. And Zion just put him on his ass. Was that the one you were talking about, Scotty? Or are you talking about another one against Denver?
The Denver game when he was on.
Oh, okay. Ground. All right. And so I just have to say, 39-year-old guy taking a charge like that from Zion, I was impressed by that. I'm not going to give him any more compliments than that, but I was impressed by that. It was crazy.
I'm impressed that he actually, he didn't cry that something broke and whatever.
Oh, he did. Oh no, he did. He was writhing around on the floor like he broke his wrist, and he stayed in the game. So
I just found the article. I wanted to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. I was off on the drinks. According to Jeremy Roenick, Michael Jordan once dropped 52 after slamming 10 beers and playing 36 holes.
Oh my God!
It's in Golf Magazine. There's a video of the interview. I'll send to you guys.
Before we get off the Celtics, I just wanted to get you guys. So people are either love or hate what Mazzulla said about the play with Tatum. Did you guys see what he said?
I miss it actually.
He basically said, "I was kind of excited about the whole situation, so I enjoyed watching it." Like he wanted to see how Tatum reacted and responded and how the team responded, which this is what I've loved about Mazzulla the whole season is that he's like, I don't care. I'm going to put you in difficult situations. They're going to be hard. You're going to have to figure it out. And I love that about him because that is how you learn. But I don't know about this. I mean, this is your #1 guy who you're not going anywhere without. Honestly, let's be real. Love Porzingis, love Jaylen Brown, but if Tatum goes down, you're likely not going too far in the playoffs. And you're thrilled that he got upended. And I mean, I can't believe he didn't end up with a concussion. So I was surprised by that. I don't know, you guys didn't see it, but that's. I was really shocked that he said that. That was to me like a step too far personally for Mazzulla to say that.
I understand the premise and the point he's trying to make. Like, hey, it's a hard playoff foul. You know, they're going to happen, so don't overreact. You know, I was happy that it kind of happened, especially early on, so that they know what they're in for. I understand that's the point or the premise he's trying to make. I also would have liked to more seen him be more of like I don't know, like a Phil Jackson or a Popovich or even like a Doc Rivers would have come out and said, you know, like that's, you know, more in a raspy voice, but he would have been like, that's a, you know, dirty foul. And, you know, I don't think it's, you know, I wish, you know, wouldn't have happened, especially to Tatum, and you can't go after a man's leg. Say something like, you know what I mean? At least say something somewhat protective. Don't be like, yeah, I'm happy you hit him. I can do it again. You know, it's like, like, no,
get him a body bag.
That's how I felt about it too. I agree.
Like, what the hell? Like, no, I'd rather you not be taking out our best player. But
our best player, yep.
Putting it back into context, if that happened in the first 2 minutes of the first quarter, okay. But it's in garbage time when he truly shouldn't have been in the game. Right. Is like adding that into the equation. Yeah, I don't love that he said that, but I appreciate if you want them to grow as a team, throw them into adversity and all that kind of stuff. But like, and knowing that he was good and probably somebody was probably standing on his back in the training room at the moment the coach was saying that on the dais is not great. But he also didn't like crack his vertebrae and all that kind of. I mean, we hope he didn't, but I'm sure he was feeling it. Here's the thing. His head not hitting the ground probably made his neck hurt more. Right. That's all I can remember is like when you fall and catch yourself, that's when your back hurts actually more than if you take the digger. You know what I mean? Sometimes.
I did that yesterday. On the ice. Dover Ice Arena. I actually got a nice little bruise.
Oh, yeah, your little birthday party. I forgot about that.
Oh, ouch.
Oh, yeah, it's nice and swollen. It's all jacked up. There you go.
I was really shocked, and I'm the first one to skip a Celtics game to go with my daughters to basically anything. I was very shocked to hear, and frankly, proud of you, Scotty, that I heard that you were not watching the Celtics game, and instead you were skating on ice with 5 or how old are they? And 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 6-year-olds.
Six, 7 years old.
Well,
I was really proud of you for that.
Well, I was going to say, and Adam obviously knows where I'm coming from. Like, Amy doesn't run that house. Ava runs the house, right? So,
100%. 100%.
No. Amy definitely runs the house. No,
okay.
Oh, your house is different than mine.
She runs the house. And honestly, that was a big reason why I went. But,
42 seconds, baby. 42 seconds.
Yeah. Scotty's going around the rink on his double blades, watching the game, screaming at Porzingis. Yeah.
Well, no, the reason I fell was actually I had Ava on like these milk crates, like that.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I was like pushing her around, and some kid had gone through and like basically had a scuff, and she was chatting with one of her friends, and I went to go push you to keep going. And before all of this happened, Amy's like, I don't think this is a good idea. And I'm like, oh, I'll be fine. Because other kids were doing it, but other kids were doing it on 2 crates. I had her on 3, and she was a little bit up high. So as soon as we hit that little dig in the ice, she started to go down. So I jump on the other side to go basically to catch her fall. And so I took the whole brunt of everything.
Oh, my God.
She
good
was
for
fine.
you.
She had no issues at all.
Yeah.
My back is all messed up. I got a huge bruise on my elbow.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Yeah, I just lied there for a second. It was like, that was awesome. But
Rubber Shoes will be skating at halftime with those 3 milk crates tonight. So we should get a good show if we watch it on
He's gonna be out there in the tight sequin pants with the Bruins Ice Girls pushing one of those shovels, right?
With the fake tip hanging out of his mouth.
Oh yes, I love it.
Yeah. Well, I think he's actually in civilian seats. He's not up in the booth. I don't think.
Oh, that's too bad.
God help us. All right. So I know we've made our picks before. We'll do it one more time. I want them. I guess I'm going to go with what I.
We never made our picks for the Celtics Heat. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh no,
the draft.
Oh no, for the draft.
Oh, for the draft. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
We can do Celtics Heat even though we're already one in.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I think we did though. I feel like I said 7.2. I said it's gonna be 7 games with 2 overtimes. That was my guess.
Oh, maybe you did. All right, my bad. All right, go ahead. That's why you run the show. I
don't run the show. I just hit buttons. And lose track and derail everybody. But that's why we're here. So I truly want Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay. That's what I want my first pick to be, and they could go anywhere. But if they stay where they are, I think it's going to make sense that Bo Nix would be available. That's what I'd love. That's a good, clean quarterback that nobody's talking about. J.J. McCarthy, I know, would make our dear friend in the corner very excited. And I'm not against that at all either. I think all the top-ranked quarterbacks, Drake May is, I get bored saying it out loud, and I think it's going to be much ado about nothing. I think he's just going to come in and be like, well, but he was the 3rd pick. Why is he not doing well? Because we're us. Because I think we're going to carry the scarlet letter of Tom Brady for the rest of our lives. Not like in a Bambino kind of way, like a Curse of the Bambino. Just, we're never going to have that kind of luck in the draft at the top with a quarterback. You know, and I'm not saying, you got to go to Mr. Irrelevant. You got to go to the 6th round. That's where Brady was. Like, we're never going to be able to find the person. We have to let them just show up for us. And I just hope they don't go Drake May. My fear is that they're going to go Drake May, and then they're going to go, I'm just going to throw out, they're going to go tackle after that. But first pick, I think they're going to go Drake May. I hope they go Marvin Harrison Jr., and then I hope they grab Bo Nix. And I'm fearful. I'm going to throw it back into the chat. I'm fearful they're going to trade out. Somebody's like, why would they not do what they always do and trade out? And if they do trade out, we'll know it was never Belichick and it was always Kraft.
Exactly.
If they trade out, right?
I saw a thing today that Jonathan Kraft is heavily involved in who they will be picking at the 3 spot. Heavily involved. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess now we have a Jerry Jones in our midst.
Scotty's like, oh boy.
I don't know if I like that or not.
I don't like it. I hate it.
What do you got, Adam? What are we gonna do?
Oh, I already said last time. I'm the one that said I think we're gonna trade back. That's probably what we're gonna do. But
you're trading. Okay.
I'll probably be wrong, but that's okay because I'm always wrong with these things. I like your idea. I think Bo Nix would be a good pick for us. I actually think the picking a top 3 quarterback is so hit or miss that it's like it's almost like why do that? You've got I like Marvin Harrison because he's got heritage is not the right word, right? His dad played in the NFL.
Pedigree.
That's the way to say it, but pedigree. Thank you, pedigree. He's got the pedigree, and obviously he's shown himself to be a hell of a wide receiver as well. So I wouldn't mind them going that direction. I'm not a big fan of them picking a quarterback in the top 3 personally. I'd like to see us get somebody a little bit deeper in the draft. So, but I do think we're going to trade back.
Yeah.
What do you got, Scotty?
So everyone's all over the map with the Pats, especially like PFF has them trading out. CBS Sports has JG McCarthy. The Ringer has May. Athletic has May. Fox Sports has Daniels. Everyone's all over the place. USA Today even has May. SB Nation has Daniels. It's all over the map. You don't really know where who's going to take who they're going to take at this point. Everyone's leaning towards May only because of the talk about the visit that he had, and the kid looks great on tape, 70% of the time. The problem is everything between the ears okay? And that's my biggest concern because it's not that he's not an athlete. The kid's a stud. He's an absolute athlete. But, to me, I could see him becoming like another Josh Allen, which in theory, everyone's like, oh, what's wrong with that? Well, he's led the league in interceptions the last few years, and it's not going to change anytime soon. Is he a great athlete? Is he a good quarterback? Yes, but you want a great quarterback, especially if you're picking top 3. I want them to take Harrison Jr. and to your point, Tim, if Bo Nix is not there, maybe take Penix Jr. You know what I mean as well. In the 2nd round, tackles a little light this year. It's not a lot of great tackles, so I don't know if they'll go offensive line, but. Really, if you had to say gun to my head, I do see them trading the pick. It's going to have to be a Brinks truck, though. People are going to have to back up the truck to get something. Their Pats are asking for a lot, everybody's saying like they're not afraid to trade out, but you're gonna have to come with a nice deal. So it'll be it's all gonna depend on if they get jumpy on draft night on Thursday. So if they get a little itchy trigger finger and they don't be patient, and they don't get the deal that they really, really wanted, but they just wanted to trade out anyway because they didn't feel comfortable, that could happen. But yeah, I'd love to see him take Harrison. I don't know. I don't think Williams will be there. I know there are other people that which is just draft, right up to the draft. BS is like Daniels is the guy. Don't take Williams. Williams is more of a bust. Daniels looks better. All of the stuff that's coming out now, you know what I mean, in like the 7th hour or whatever, 11th hour. But yeah, I love draft night. Big Nate and I are already. We got snacks lined up. We got all sorts of stuff ready to go. So we're gonna be.
Are they emblazoned with the NFL draft night logo, like your Masters snacks were, or?
Oh.
No.
Not yet. You just gave him an idea, though.
That's an idea.
Yep. Shit's about to change.
Come on, Scotty.
So we got some ideas. Oh yeah, there'll be some. We see some things drawn up for sure.
I can't amazing. And where is, because I'm just thinking this through. I think we're in Ohio Thursday night. It shouldn't matter, but I'm going to have to go into the direct TVs on my iPad to watch whatever I want to watch. Where is the McAfee cast? Because I want to watch that with Coach. I'm not watching the regular draft cast. I'm watching the McAfee cast with Coach. That's going to be must-see TV.
I bet it's on YouTube. He's probably streaming it on YouTube, right?
No, he'll be on ESPN. He's an ESPN entity. It'll be ESPN too. Yeah. Oh, that's going to be so good. Okay, that's either going to be on the hotel TV or I'll just cast it from the phone, from the direct TV streaming.
I'm sure you'll find it. We'll
figure it out. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, I love draft night. It's so much fun. So much fun.
I will say that's going to be the best part of the whole night is Belichick just sitting there talking for what he's going to be on there for 4 hours. It's going to be amazing. To God.
McAfee and his crew with Belichick is going to be amazing, and unbelievable. And I hope they're not listening, but I hope they hear it in the ether. I think if the penny pinchers at ESPN Disney figure it out, they got to get him and Saban together to do that.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, the Coach cast on Monday nights would be amazing.
Saban's going to be on. Yeah, so Saban will be on ESPN.
College Game Day, right?
Mel Kiper and all those guys.
No, Saban's going to be on the broadcast.
Oh, on the draft. Okay,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah,
the draft. Sorry, McAfee is actually the Pat McAfee show who drafts spectacular. Will be streamed on YouTube, TikTok, and ESPN Plus.
Oh, all right. So it's on the Plus.
You got it on
perfect.
YouTube. You're good.
I get Plus too. I get ESPN Plus.
Okay,
I got ESPN Plus. Doesn't matter. Perfect.
Listen.
Perfect.
Do we have time to throw something else out there, or are you guys on our
4,000%? We're 102 on the clock and 609 in our hearts. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. So Brady is doing the Netflix roast. You saw? I'm sure I sent that to you guys. But he's doing May 5th. He's doing a Brady roast. They're doing a Brady roast hosted by Kevin Hart and multiple special guests. I am, as you all are, giant fans of Tom Brady. I love Tom Brady. He delivered us 6 Super Bowls. There's not a lot bad to say about the man, but are we reaching a point where he's becoming too celebrity? Like every time I see him, he's at like over the weekend he was like in Spain at a football game, and he's like at every celebrity thing. I know he did like the Met Galas and stuff when he was with Giselle, but there was it feels very oversaturated with him. I don't know if it's just maybe I see a lot of him in my feed because I like it when it comes up and stuff, but it just feels like I'm like, all right, enough already. I mean, the roast, I feel like the roast, we did a million roasts, so we got to do a Tom Brady roast. Like, is that really necessary? Throwing it out.
The algorithm has figured you out. I don't feel I'm not getting the saturation that you're getting. Okay. I think he was doing a whole bunch of stuff with the wife. Yeah, and Tommy, if you're listening, Scotty would love to be saturated by you. So Tommy's looking for the
the hand motions. Yeah, all right,
yeah.
All right.
Come to daddy. Yeah, saturate me. So in the grand scheme of things, I think he doesn't want to be in the booth. I still don't think he's going to get to the booth.
Oh, interesting.
And he did that. There's a kid that I tripped over on TikTok a while back. You guys have probably seen him. His name's Vic Blends. The content he does on TikTok is he's just marching around to be at a college campus or whatever, and he's an elite barber, and he'll just march around. The content he built.
He did it with Brady.
And he did it with Brady, and they had the whole conversation. And he's like, "What would it look like?" And Brady was like, "Oh yeah, like if somebody needed me or whatever." Like he's leaving that door open, and that's just smart. Like everything he's doing is smart. Now back to if he does do the booth, I've said it, and I love him too. I think he'll be terrible. I don't think that's his genius zone. Him being a guest on the Manning cast is one thing. Him boothing a whole game. I don't know. I don't know if that's the thing. I think Fox is excited, and they were smart to sign him because if it happens, it happens. Great. I think Tom Brady roast will be much like, and I didn't watch it for context, Tom versus Time and all that stuff. Like he'll have editorial. Like that's not going to be live.
Oh, it is live. No, it is live.
Will it be live?
They're promoting it as if it's live.
Live in front of a studio audience.
No, live, like you have to watch it at a specific time on Netflix.
Okay. All right. I mean, I don't believe it will be thoroughly manipulated by him as an executive producer. I don't think they're going to be able to go up and say whatever they want to say. I'd be shocked. I know that's the point of a roast, but
PM on May 5th.
I don't know, Tim. I think he's got a pretty good sense of humor. Like, I don't think he would be. And also, that's what it is. It's jokes. People are going to bust his balls. They're going to get on him and stuff. And
Scotty is still knee deep in the Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
a lot of deflate jokes. A lot of like, you know what I mean. They're going to bring up all that stuff. And
sure.
I think it's great personally. I think it's going to be hilarious. I do like roasts. I feel like they peaked for a while with Ross and everyone doing them. Like I felt like all the time on Comedy Central and other places, and then it kind of like it was like, okay, I think we're good for a while, and then they kind of stopped. And I don't know if this is going to like starting it back up, but you didn't see them nearly as prominent as you were before. But I think it's good. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be funny, especially with Hart, hosting. Of course, he's going to have like the best of the best, like to host and to be there. I'm sure. So, Well,
Kevin Hart is hosting, so that's a good start for sure.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's absolutely perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Andy Samberg was on one, and there was like some classic late '80s, early '90s rapper. And he goes, he's like, I forget for the life of me who it was. And he's like, oh my God, like Tim Dog is here. He goes, if I was my mom, I'd be thrilled. Like he was just, ripping on the fact that there was some rapper who was probably on your parents, like, what was that mixtape? And they were enumerated. Yeah. Like the hits 13, hits 14, whatever that whole series was.
Now that's what I call. That's what I call volume 700.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Well, that'll be interesting. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it goes well. And I want nothing but good things for him. But
I want it to be awesome too.
I will stand by. I don't think he gets to the booth. I don't think that's a thing. We'll see.
Well, we shall see, I guess.
And because he's got to be amazing, because what's his face that he's replacing has been really good. The kid that played, Olsen was great.
Yeah, he's excellent.
And I know he's not leaving; he's just going to be the B team. But he's really good, and I just don't know if Brady. And it will take some time for him to get good. Like Tony had his golden years, and now Tony's just, here we go, Jim. It's like you just pull a string, and that's what he says, right?
I love Tony.
I think he gets a bad rap. I think he does. I would say he's 85-90% every game. He's solid. Yeah, there's that 5 to 10% where it's like, you kind of push that a little bit too hard or whatever. But I think he does a really good job.
His skill set is he predicts what they're going to do next, which is amazing.
Yeah,
he'll tell you the play they're going to run.
Brady will be able to do that. That's one thing I think Brady will be able to do. Now, if he's going to. Biggest thing I think he's going to need to do is one, watch his language because he swears like a pirate. And two, it's going to be like, can he do it in a way that's context-driven, topical type of analysis for the end user, for the guys having his,
basically dumb it down is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's eighth beer during the third quarter. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's I think that'll be something that'll be interesting to and have that type of flair and pizzazz, so to speak. But I don't know.
Maybe Greg Olson can fill in for Doris Burke. so you can watch some more golf.
Oh, we got there. We got there. Scotty put the vomit emoji up, and he's like, just so you know what I mean. I don't like her commentating. It has nothing to do with how she looks.
I know. That was like the first thing he replied.
Well, Rubber Shoes posts a picture of freaking Mrs. Doubtfire. What is wrong? What is wrong with Rubber Shoes?
I was like, that's not what I meant at all.
So
but
much
how
anger.
is married? Honestly, 42 seconds. How is he married?
Yeah, 42 seconds. Tick, 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 tick.
Oh my God!
And all the stuff at the games.
Yeah, he's
Plus,
force feeding steak tips as we speak. Yep.
I'm gonna co-sign the Doris Burke take, though. I will say she is not my favorite commentator. I find her to be less than enjoyable to listen to. You know who is a great sideline reporter is Allie LaForge. She's very good. Because sometimes these sideline reporters just ask the dumbest questions. I actually think she asks pretty good questions. But
well, it's that whole thing, and this is a conversation for another show, but that whole job is really difficult.
Oh, yeah. Sideline
you've got to march up and ask an obvious question to a coach that doesn't want to do it, but is obligated to do it, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's and then that whole thing came out where Aaron Anderson and they were all talking to each other about the fact that sometimes they'll make stories up. Remember that girl admitted?
Oh yeah.
She's like, yeah, coach ran right past me, so I had to make something up. And that she like, your mic's on. You're saying the quiet part out loud, right? And that took off. And then a whole bunch of other sideline reporters came to her rescue and said, we've all done it. We've all been hyperbolic.
Didn't even do the interview. It was Kevin Love.
Well,
that was really funny. That was really funny. It said Eric Spoelstra and Kevin Love was standing. Yeah.
I'm like, nope, that's not him.
That's not. I mean, Spoelstra looks great, but that's not him. That's not him.
There is a rule that if they're up by they're losing by a certain amount at the time of the interview, then the coach is not obligated to come over.
Oh.
I saw one of the sideline reporters, I forget who it was, talking about that if the team is down by like 30, which they may have been at the time of that interview, they're not required to come over. So maybe that's what happened. I don't know. But they didn't change the Chiron, so they should have changed the Chiron.
Yeah, that was awesome. Because I looked up, I'm like, oh my God, this is it. I'm dying. Like people are looking different. Yeah.
It's underrated that Kevin Love is still playing. Honestly, I like Kevin Love.
Right?
I wish he wasn't on the Heat because I like Kevin Love, but it's really underrated that he's still playing and playing. Not, I wouldn't say at a super high level, but he's playing at a decent level for a guy his age. He's got to be 38, 39 now, right?
He's there, Al Horford. He's there, Al Horford.
He's their Uncle Al.
Yeah.
Uncle Al.
I loved him until he went to the Heat. Even when he was on the Cavs, I loved him. But
yeah, it was
nonetheless.
Bulls in 14.
My final thought for the show, by the way, for like quick 2 seconds, is Scotty Scheffler is really good at golf. It's just not fair anymore.
Unbelievable. Again,
4
He's
tournaments.
So dialed in.
4 in the last 5.
Yeah, so he wrapped up this morning. They finished up at Heritage this morning because of the rain delay yesterday. Nelly Korda wrapped up her 5th straight win, first person to do that.
Unbelievable.
Yep, one of 3 women to do that. And back to Scheffler. It's so funny because they're like kids catch on and kids are going to start to mimic it because his footwork, Adam, if you haven't watched, everybody's talking about his feet. His you start off square to the ball. I'm telling this is sort of funny. Somebody write this down. You start off square to the ball, right? And then as you're following through, a lot of people will like roll onto the side of their foot in their follow through. Scotty's a good athlete. He probably does this. Mine stays square because I'm a mess. But Scheffler is rolling onto his actual ankle bone. Like his foot is rolled all the way over. And they had a measurement up this morning, Scotty. I had it on here. And they said from his initial address, and let's just say off the driver because that's where his feet move the most, his initial address, his right big toe is sliding back 13.2 inches. They averaged it. He's sliding back over a foot. His right foot is dragging back in his follow through, and he's lacing it right now. You can't even talk to him right now. He's just playing really good golf. It's unbelievable to watch, and it's funny because Cheryl just jumped up in the chat real quick, which is interesting. She. You understand Cheryl's love for Tiger Woods. We'll leave that right there. So I was talking about how I was sort of bored. I'm like, oh, Scheffler again. This isn't fun to watch. She goes, hello, like it was because it was 75 years of Tiger. I'm like, but it was a different brand of golf. It just felt different. Like he's so quiet. He's just quietly, like he's like a ninja.
He's not doing the fist pump.
He is though. He's starting to show emotion, which has been interesting. And what's really funny is he said during the Masters, if Meredith gave birth, he was just going to walk off the course. Like he was going to forfeit the Masters if his wife wanted to leave.
I would have done that. I would do that too. Good for him.
And God bless him. She still hasn't given birth.
Yep.
Is that right? Oh my God.
So Mother Scheffler.
That's insane.
Keep that baby in the oven.
Yeah, right.
It's working. It's working. It's working.
Did you see that? That his caddy Tim, I'm blanking on his last name.
Went to chest bump him. Did you see that?
The what?
He went to chest bump him at the end, and Scotty didn't jump. He's like, "I'm not doing that."
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. No, well, I was saying, did you see the amount of wins and the totals that they have so far this year? If his and the way the percentages work out, his caddy from a money list perspective, would be, I think his caddy would be, I think it was like top 75 in money right now on the PGA Tour.
That's
He'd be top
insane.
75, which is insane.
So for perspective, Adam, 3.6 was his purse this morning. 3.6 million. To which somebody in my office is like, yeah, but the taxes. I don't care about the taxes.
Oh my God! Come on, go away.
So most caddies have a 10% agreement. And I'm sure they all have their side deals.
So he makes $300,000 off of the tournament?
He made 360 today.
Yep. Wow. That's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I should have been a caddy.
He's got some healthy Christmas bonuses and all that. From
Can you see Adam holding somebody's clubs? He's like, slide your right foot back 13.2 inches and just hit the hell out of it. Yeah.
Work for Scotty.
Yeah. Did you see the last the Tiger Woods? They had posted his winnings during like one of his peak couple of seasons, or what I don't know, his peak season was 2000. His winnings in 2000 was like 10 point something million. If it was today, his winnings would have been over $90 million.
Oh my God.
Because he was so dominant in 2000, and I can't remember.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's insane.
He must be kicking himself that he didn't get that money.
I think he's all right. I think he's fine.
Yeah,
He's doing all right. He's doing all right. All right. For rubber shoes and all the steak tips that he can eat, still not at the Bruins because it's 6:22, so he's probably still in traffic. You're ruining my summer.
Stop. Can you just see him driving down like, I gotta get there.
He probably took a fire truck and threw the lights on.
Oh my God, yes. That's 1,000%.
That would be amazing. Anyway, he's not with us because of our dear friends at AAA Work Trucks, Joe and Leslie. Reminder, move the tickets around.
Please, rotation would be great.
I'll take a weekend shift. I'll take a
I
weekend
don't even
shift.
go to the Bruins. I'll go to it if you give them. I'll go.
Yeah, Adam's happy to go just so you don't send rubber shoes. Anyway, rubber shoes will be back at it, full of all of his stories and steak tips in the morning. It's atbshow.com. You can go there. The wrap up and the rant, all of it's taking place. He's on the bike now, which is horrifying and true. And we'll be back at it next week. So we'd love for you to like and subscribe and share and comment. Boys, enjoy the night, and we'll see you. We'll have a thread going during the draft, of course.
Go Celtics!
All the excitement surrounding them trading off the third pick. Dear God. See you next week.